Today we are going to be installing a quick release for a rooftop case. By simply just pulling this pin, you can lift and remove the case right off your roof rack, or you can pop it right back on. Plus, there is a hole to the center of the pin, so you can lock this to the roof rack, hopefully preventing theft of your case. If you are interested to see how to install these quick release mounts by The Mounting Co., you're going to want to stay tuned and watch this video. What's going on, guys? If you're new here, my name is Chris. Right behind me, this is the Fortune Taco. And today, like I mentioned in the intro, we are going to be installing a case up on the roof rack of the truck using the quick release mounts. Now, I already installed one just to get it done and make sure I know how to do it smoothly. So when I do it for you guys, it's not so embarrassing. I do have a second one here. This is the mount system. I'm going to disassemble that in just a minute. It is 3 pieces. The plate that goes inside your case. This is the plate that goes in the bottom of the case, and then once we separate these two, you have the actual bottom plate which attaches to the roof rack. And then I have a case here. This is gonna be the Craftsman Trade Stack. They are like stackable toolboxes, so it makes moving around your tools and stuff on a job site easier. There are a number of different boxes or tool cases, whatever you wanna call them, that you can use. This is specifically what I chose. So, what I'm gonna be doing here is drilling holes in this. Also, because of the bottom of this, it has all these grooves and ridges here, so these can interlock with each other. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this, like I did on the other one. I do some modifying to the case, shave some of this stuff down to make this more smooth, and then they will align with each other better than they would if we left all these ridges. So it just makes it easier, even though it is a little tedious and it can be a little messy. But I'm gonna knock all that out, probably do a little time lapse and speed it up so it's easier for you to see what's being done. Cutting down all these ridges is specific to the Craftsman Trade Stack case. If you choose any other case, this installation could be different. So that stuff's gonna be specific to my build. If you choose to replicate what I'm doing and use these Craftsman Trade Stacks, you can kind of use this video for reference. If you use other cases, you can possibly use it for reference, but it all depends on the case you're gonna be going with. Let's get to modifying this case, getting this system all mounted up to the case, and then we will get up to the roof rack. We will mount the base plate up on the Prinsu roof rack. And for the third step, we will put everything together and show you how it is connected to the vehicle. All right, so I got the mounting system all broken down into its individual pieces. So this is the base plate that will go onto the roof rack, just like the other one that's already on there. This plate, along with this rubber gasket, will mount to the inside here. So you wanna put down the rubber gasket first, and then this plate, then this will end up going on the bottom of the case. So this bottom plate, along with this plate inside, sandwich the case. And then with this all assembled and put together, you would lift the case up onto the roof rack. It slides down into these back grooves. Everything lines up, and then the pin that is in here goes through the hole on the front of the base plate, locking both the case with the bottom plate to the base plate on the truck. So let's get to drilling and cutting this case so we can get the Mounting Co. hardware all attached to the case. So the hardware we have that will be going through this plate and also through this case is 1/4 in diameter. So you can drill just a 1/4 hole. What I ended up doing was drilling 5/16 holes, just so they're a little bit bigger than this hardware, so they have a little bit of play. So when putting this in, you can kind of adjust it around and stuff, and it's not too tight and things aren't flexing and bowing. So you can see the holes I drilled. So these ones are fine. That is one of the holes right there. That one's good, that one's good. That's another one down in that crevice. If you can kind of see the light coming through. There's another one right up here on this edge, and then another one right there. You can definitely see that one with the light. So they're very close to all these bumps, and once we put hardware through, it obviously interferes with all of that. So that's why we then have to shave off all of these. And another reason is when you mount this plate to the bottom of your case, you want this bottom plate to be as flush and flat as possible. Well, obviously with all these ridges, you can see the gap in between that and the case. You don't want a gap like that. You want this plate to sit as flush as possible to the bottom of your case, which would make this more secure when mounting it to the roof rack. I got the bottom all ground down. Obviously it doesn't look pretty, but that's okay. What I found to make this very, very easy is using an oscillating tool or a multi-tool, whatever the heck you want to call them. This thing cuts through this case like butter, and it made it very, very easy. Dumb me, when I did the first case, I used this micro grinder. This thing was a pain in the butt, it took a while, and it kept melting the plastic, so every time I cut something off, it was so hot, it would melt back to the case in a different spot, so I just kept having to do it over and over and over, and all I was doing was pretty much melting plastic, and it became a pain. But now that we have it all ground down, we're gonna take the plate that goes on the bottom of the case, and we're gonna bolt it onto the case now. All right, now that I have this case set up, mounted properly, it's time for us to get up on the roof rack, and we need to mount the base plate for the roof rack, so then we can combine this with that plate and it'll look just like this case. Before we get to doing that, I want to take a moment to thank the mounting company. They sponsored today's video to make this possible. So these cases are going to be mounted up with recovery gear as well as probably some off-road tools, so it'll help a disaster on the trail be a little better. So the main benefit and feature is that you can quick disconnect these and get these cases off your roof rack without having to unbolt them and go through all that work. So you can take this thing off on the trail and you can pop it right back on, no tools required. All you do is pull the pin and release the case. Now, while I'm making this video today, I actually saw the mounting company released. They are gonna be making these mounts possibly in anodized black. So you can get it in this bare raw aluminum color, or don't quote me on this because it's not confirmed yet, but they might be making a black solution for those of you that do not like this raw solution. If you are interested in this mount, they make multiple different sizes. I will leave a link down below so you can go to their website and you can check out what kind of products they offer and purchase them if this is something you are interested in adding to your truck. But now let's get back to the install. All right, quite a bit of hardware here, so we can mount this up to our roof rack using your standard 1/4 inch carriage bolts for the Prinsu roof rack. And then there is some supplied hardware with these mounts. It is kind of like universal, so sometimes it might not work for your application. I ended up having to go to the hardware store and I bought some miscellaneous hardware to make this work for my setup. But in the hardware supplied by the mounting company, there are these fat aluminum bushings. I'm gonna be reusing those, and that is just gonna help this mount stand up off the crossbars a little bit so it doesn't interfere with the edge of the roof rack here. Now that's gonna be it right there. Once you attach that base plate to the roof rack, you can now pull the pin, remove your case. That easy. Every time I get up here and do it with two hands, it goes in just fine, but one-handed just seems to be difficult. But as long as you have two hands and you're not holding a camera, popping these things on and off is fairly simple. That is gonna be a quick install here of the mounting company quick release roof rack mounts mounted on a Prince roof rack with 2 Craftsman trade stack cases. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up down below. It helps you show me your support for the channel, and also it helps this video be more successful so other people can enjoy it just like you. If you're new to the channel and you are not a subscriber, you made it all the way through the video. At this point, you should consider hitting that subscribe button so you'll be notified and you can see all the future videos I create. If you guys have any questions about the mounting company or this video, drop a comment down below. I try my best to reply to every comment that is left on my videos. That's gonna do it for this video. I will see you guys on the next one.